Good morning, Year 1. I hope you had a good day yesterday and that yesterday's video was helpful to you. Before we start, I just want to give a shout out to some children who I've had lots of emails and pictures from. So that's Scarlett Scott, Izzy, Oliver Gorton, Lynn, Noah Chetby, Noah Smith, Lexi Blissett, Lily Mae Faultless, Bertie, Poppy Mella, Archie, Lacey, Lewis, Olivia and Nancy. I've absolutely loved seeing all the pictures and work that I've had sent in, so keep it up guys, well done. Okay, we're going to start off with our reading this morning. So we're going to have a read of the text together and then we're going to go on to some questions, okay? So what I'd like you to do is read along with me. Either you can look on the screen or you can get your text out in front of you. Land ahoy, shouted Rossi, looking out to sea with her telescope. Shall we dive in and explore, Captain? You know I don't like swimming, Gasper said with a sigh. Suddenly, a cracking sound came from below them. Before they had realised what was happening, a chunk of ice had broken off and Gasper and Rossi were floating out to sea on an iceberg. Quick, swim, shouted Rossi. But Gasper was afraid. I can't, he cried, peering into the deep, dark sea below. The iceberg floated out farther and farther until they could no longer see land. What are we going to do? Asked Gasper, trembling. How will we ever get back? We're brave explorers, remember, said Rossi, holding Gasper's flippers. We will find a way. Gasper took a deep breath. I guess we could use our flippers to tow back, he said. But which way is home? Lift me up, said Rossi. She climbed onto Gasper's head, but she was still not high enough to see land. Try jumping, she suggested, giving him a little nudge with her foot. Gasper jumped and they both landed on the ice with a thud. Need some help finding your way? Asked a snow patrol from above. Oh, yes, please, called Gasper. Which way is land? It's this way, called the snow patrol, flying high above them. Gasper and Rossi used their flippers to row as hard as they could, but the current kept pushing them the wrong way. Need us to give you a push? Asked an Antarctic silverfish from below. Oh, yes, please, called Gasper. The silverfish pushed the iceberg along until suddenly it became stuck. We'll never get through here, exclaimed Gasper. Need some help breaking through the ice? Asked a blue whale from the deep. Oh, yes, please, called Gasper. With a huge flip of its tail, the whale smashed the ice and cleared the way. Gasper and Rossi bobbed along behind it, glad to finally be on their way back to safety. Land ahoy, squawked the snow patrol. It's all been a great adventure, said Rossi, grinning. We're just like real explorers. The sun shone brightly in the sky as Gasper and Rossi headed for home. Hey, stick to your side, Captain, laughed Rossi as Gasper's tail feathers tickled her feet. I'm right on the edge, grumbled Gasper. The two penguins turned to face each other in shock. The iceberg was getting smaller and smaller. It's melting, shrieked Gasper. We need to move faster. The silverfish swam quicker and the blue whale helped to push, but the ice was melting too fast. We'll have to swim from here, said Rossi. You can do this, Gasper. I know you can. You are the captain, after all. The silverfish started to cheer. Gasper! 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 Soon everyone had joined in, and Gasper began to feel braver. Gasper gulped. Then, with one big jump, he splashed into the water. Brrr! He spluttered. It's so chilly. Use your flippers, shouted Rossi as she dived in over Gasper's head. Whee! Said Rossi as she headed for home. Gasper flapped his flippers and followed nervously behind. It wasn't long before Rossi and Gasper were back home with their families. You did it, Captain, said Rossi. You got us through our most dangerous adventure yet. I guess I did, agreed Gasper, feeling proud, but I couldn't have done it without my trusty first mate. Okay, now we've had a read of that, we're going to have a go at answering some questions. So you'll still need the text in front of you so that we can look back at it, like we did yesterday. We're going to look at the questions and then find the right part of the text and then have a go at answering them. Okay, so the first question, we don't really need to look at the text for this one. Who are the main characters in this story? Is it the blue whale and the snow patrol, Gasper and Rossi, or the silverfish? Okay, so pause the video while you have a go at answering that one. Question number 2. What makes a cracking sound in the story? Tick 1. Okay, so for this one, we're going to need to go back to the text and check where it mentions a cracking sound so we can see what it was. So what I'd like you to do is either on the screen or on your text, I'd like you to have a look through and find where it mentions a cracking sound. So pause the video here while you find it. Okay, I found it as well. So it says, suddenly a cracking sound came from below them. And then under that, if you keep reading, it tells us what caused the sound. And then you can have a go at answering that question on your sheets. So pause the video while you have a go at that one. Okay, question 3. Why is Gasper worried when the iceberg floats out to sea? So we need to find on the text where it mentions Gasper being worried or scared. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video and find part of the story on this page that I've shown you where it says Gasper was scared or worried. Okay, I found it as well. So it says, but Gasper was afraid. So that tells us that Gasper was worried. So what I'd like you to do now is have a read of what I've put in the box and decide why Gasper was afraid, and then have a go at writing that answer for me. So pause the video while you have a go at that one. Question number 4. Draw a line to match up the boxes to complete the sentences. So what I think we need to do here is, for the first 3 parts of the sentences, we need to find where in the text those quotes are, and then we can find what comes at the end of those sentences. So we're looking for a sentence that starts with, you know I don't like, a sentence that starts with, how will we ever, and a sentence that starts with, I guess we could use our flippers. So have a look in the text to see if you can find any of those sentences. So pause the video here while you have a look. Okay, so I've found all 3 sentences. So what I'd like you to do is have a look at those, try and have a go reading them on your own, and then match those up. So pause the video while you finish answering that question. Okay, and question number 5. Complete this sentence. You got us through our most dangerous something yet. So is it journey, adventure, or day? So we're going to have a look back at the text again. So we need to find where that sentence is. So I'll give you a clue. It's on the last page. Okay, so pause the video while you find that sentence. Okay, I found it as well. So what I'd like you to do is have a read of what's inside the red box or on your page and have a go at answering that question. So pause the video while you finish that off. Okay, you've got another 6 questions, and we've been through the first half all together, and I've helped you with how to find the answers. So what I'd like you to do now for the rest of them is have a go answering those questions on your own. So remember to look back at the story to find that part of the story that the question's asking about, and that might help you to find the answers. So I'd like you to pause the video now while you have a go at the rest of those. Okay, and you can have a go at marking them as well. So pause the video here and you can have a look at the answers for the first page. When you come to mark number 3, I've put my answer, but all of us have probably written a slightly different answer. But as long as you're mentioning about Gasper not being able to swim or that he didn't know how they were going to get back, then that is fine. And if you pause the video here, you can have a look at the answers for the other half of the question, so you can pause it again here. Number 2, I haven't put my answer in there because I think everyone will have written a slightly different answer, so I'd have to have a look at those ones. So don't worry about marking number 2. But number 6 as well, you might all have a slightly different answer. But as long as it's telling us the reason why Gasper feels proud, so either because he swam, either because he got everybody home, or that he got them through their most dangerous adventure yet. Anything like that, you can have a tick for that one. Okay, so pause it while you finish marking your answers. Okay, and we're going to have a look at maths today. So today you've got some challenges to do. So we're not going to go through it together because it's challenges for you all to do at home on your own. And everyone's going to do it slightly differently. So the first one, it's to do with counting backwards. So using the pictures in the table at the bottom, you're going to create as many sequences as you can, but they have to count backwards. Okay, so you can start at any number and you can use as many images in one sequence as you like, but it has to be going backwards. So there's an example at the top which we can have a look at. So it starts with the crayons, which when you look below, it tells us that that's number 9. Then we've got a tens frame, which if we look below is number 8. Then we've got flowers, which is number 7. And then we've got some Numicon, which is number 6. So that sequence goes 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay, so you can either cut out the pictures or you can have a go at just writing them down. But I'd like you to see how many different sequences you can come up with. Okay, so pause the video here while you have a go at that activity. Okay, and the second activity is a game for you to play with someone at home. So it can be anyone in your family or brothers and sisters. Okay, so you will need a partner. So you're playing a game on a hopscotch grid. So both you and your partner need to start on number 10. And then you're going to take it in turns to roll a dice and see how many places you need to move backwards. The winner is the first person to reach number 1. Okay. If you don't have counters at home, then you can use anything else, or you can just use your fingers to show where you are on the hopscotch grid. And if you don't have a dice, then if you go on the internet, you should be able to find a dice on there, so you can ask a grown-up to help you with that. Okay, so pause the video here while you have a go at that game, and then we'll go on to our phonics. Okay, phonics. So yesterday you just had a look at your websites or you practiced some of your ob and bob. So today we're going to do some phonics together. Okay, so the sound we're going to look at today is I. Okay, so we have done this one lately in class, but I think it's one we need to practice a little bit more. So we're going to have a look at the I sound. So firstly, I'd like you to tell me what letters makes up the I sound. So it's made up of I, G, and a H. Okay, I'm going to read a word and I'd like you to write it down either on your work packs or on another sheet of paper. So when I read the word, you can pause the video and write down the word. Okay, your first word is night. So pause the video here while you write that down. Night. The next word is high, like the man was on top of a high hill. Pause the video while you write that down. The next word is right. So right as in he got all the answers right. So pause the video while you write that one down. Your next word is fight. Fight. So pause the video while you write that one down. Your next word is light. Pause the video while you write that down. Light. And your last word is fright. So pause the video while you write that down. Fright. Okay, and what I'd like you to do now is write a sentence including at least one I word. So you can use one of the ones we've already done or come up with a new one, one that you can think of that has the I sound, and I'd like you to write a sentence that has an I word. So pause the video now while you do that, and then we'll go on to our writing. Okay, so for your writing today, I'd like you to do the same as yesterday, another diary entry for me, okay? So think about what we had to do yesterday. We had to start off with Dear Diary. It has to be in the past tense, and I'd like lots of adjectives and conjunctives, okay? So you can either write it that you are the person in the picture or that you are watching the person in the picture. So have a look at the picture and think of what you can describe, and I'd like you to write a diary recount from that person. Okay, so pause the video now while you get on with your writing. Okay, you finished your writing, so well done Year 1. That's the end of our learning video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again for some more tomorrow.